Students, let us start today new topic, molecular orbital theory for heteronuclear diatomics and polyatomic molecules and species. Before that, some basic fundas, basic ideas about molecular orbital theory should be clear to you. In that first, we should know atomic orbitals, their energy levels, and quantum approach for shapes or orientation of various atomic orbitals. Means what I wanted to say, electron filling takes place from low energy orbital to high energy orbital. First remains 1s, then 2s, then 2p, then 3s, and then 3p. Now for this chapter, this much energy levels are sufficient. S orbital is spherically symmetrical. P orbital dumbbell shape. S orbital positive phase or negative phase will be there throughout the wave. See here what we wanted to talk. We wanted to talk electron as a wave. So wave function can be either positive or can be negative for S orbital. For P orbital, one of the lobe will be positive while other lobe will be negative. So wave function, quantum approach, probability approach, permutation or possibilities of the combination approach, symmetry approach, all we are going to discuss here. All we are going to apply in this topic. So if I talk about the atomic orbitals, say S orbital is spherically symmetric. If I consider this x-axis as a bonding axis, and if I rotate the molecule around that x-axis, there will not be any change in the phase of that S orbital. It can be positive or it can be negative. Whatever it was before, that will be retained. If I take px orbital and around that, suppose if I rotate the x orbital, then positive lobe will remain positive, negative lobe will remain towards negative side. So there is a no change. If I take say pz orbital, up down, positive lobe and negative lobe, if I consider, and if I rotate along the same axis, means x-axis which was the previously, if I rotate, then what will happen? Positive will change the position, and by 180 degree rotation if I do, then positive will come to negative, negative will come to positive. So here symmetry is different compared to S orbital, compared to X orbital. If I consider Y orbital, so one lobe will be towards your side and one lobe will be towards my side. Suppose lobe towards you is positively charged and lobe towards me is negatively charged, and if I rotate, then what will happen? By 180 degree rotation, negative lobe will come to your side and positive lobe will come to my side. Means, as was the case for pz orbital, same case will be there for py orbital. So among these all orbitals, what we come to know, S orbital and px orbital, they behave in same way, while py orbital and pz orbital, they behave in same way. Behavior for symmetric for bonding axis, say x-axis as a bonding axis. Somewhere we have to put convention, no? Few books z-axis you can consider as a bonding axis, few were x. So let me consider x as a bonding axis, because in molecular symmetry we have considered this as a z-axis, no? And while considering these molecules we are considering horizontally. Horizontally is not a proper word, but in this way along x-axis. Therefore just let me consider. So what is our convention? Up down is our z-axis, towards you and towards me y-axis, and towards left right of us is a x-axis. So x, y and z. These are the axes conventionally we are choosing. So if I consider linear molecule, maybe HCl, maybe NO, maybe CO, or whatever molecules already you have studied, homonuclear diatomic molecules, H2, N2, O2, F2, all I'll consider along x-axis. So z-axis and y-axis will be perpendicular. So that's the understanding about arrangement of the atoms. That's the understanding about orbitals. Now whatever the similarity I said between the s orbital and px orbital, they are symmetric along axis, so the orbitals resulted from them we consider as sigma, or bonds resulted from them will be considered as sigma. A small sigma will be the representation for that. And if orbitals are pz or py, then if I rotate around the bonding axis, a symmetry is different, so that different symmetry we represent by pi. So combinations obtained from pz and py will be pi, and combinations resulted from s and px will be sigma. Is the concept of atomic orbitals clear to you? Symmetry of the atomic orbitals concept clear, because from that we are resulting the different molecular orbitals, types of molecular orbitals. We are labeling the molecular orbitals, and here we are considering electron as an wave. Now I come to the molecular orbitals. Molecular orbitals are as like atomic orbitals, but their shapes are different. Their energetics remain different. We'll discuss it in detail, but at this moment I wanted to emphasize that from atoms, by the combination of atomic waves, we will get molecular waves, and those molecular waves none other than molecular orbitals. But to form molecular orbitals, three essential conditions are there. Condition number 1, combining atomic orbitals should be of same or similar energy. If their energy is between 10 to 15 electron volt, then combination may what? Possible. If it is the same, there is no problem. Combination certainly will be there, provided second condition is fulfilled. And second condition is combining atomic orbitals should be of same symmetry. Exactly what is the meaning of symmetry, you will get the clear-cut idea, but time being whatever I said, no, S and Px are of same symmetry, Pz and Py are of same symmetry. So those orbitals can what? Combine. Among them, symmetry for Pz and symmetry for Py is different, but symmetry of one of the Py and other Py will be what? Same. So about symmetry, I keep the point somewhat pending. We will discuss it in what detail. But time being, if they are with same symmetry, exact same symmetry, then combination of atomic orbitals, combination of corresponding electron waves may possible. Now third condition, if these above two conditions are fulfilled, then one more condition should be fulfilled. Thus combining atomic orbitals should undergo appreciable overlap, considerable overlap. Otherwise energy is same, symmetry is same, but atoms are kept apart. Then how molecule can form? How molecular orbitals can result? So this third condition also is equally important. There should be the appreciable overlap. If all these conditions are fulfilled, then three kinds of molecular orbitals are possible. Means within molecule, three orbitals are possible. The first, bonding kind of orbitals. Bonding means wave function for one wave and wave function for other wave, or phase of one wave and phase of other wave If they match, if they are same, then addition will be there. Means if positive phase of one wave and positive phase of other wave, if they combine, then we will get resultant positive wave, a large wave that we can get, and that kind of combination is called as additive combination, and result is bonding orbital. See, interesting here. Generally, what we think positive and positive repulsion. It is in case of particulate mechanics, in case of particle mechanics, classical mechanics, Newtonian mechanics. But in quantum mechanics, positive and positive addition, attraction, decrease in energy. But if one phase of wave is negative and other phase is positive, then there will be, yes, addition or subtraction, subtraction, attraction or repulsion, repulsion. Energy will increase or decrease, increase. So lower energy orbital, general point of view, bonding. Higher energy orbital, general point of view, is anti-bonding. And non-bonding orbitals, many possibilities are there. One among them, if there is a no interaction, if the very inner orbital is there of one atom has no interaction, then it will remain non-bonding. Or equal positive and negative interaction, then also it will remain non-bonding. Sometimes we feel that orbital has a bonding, but actually it is a non-bonding or anti-bonding, but non exactly how much character of bonding, how much character of anti-bonding, accordingly we can decide non-bonding behavior, non-bonding nature. So we represent bonding orbital by sigma or pi. Sigma or pi depends on kinds of orbitals which are combining. Accordingly, anti-bonding orbital we represent by asterisk, and non-bonding orbital we represent as usual, simple, as like bonding orbital. So what we are doing now, I am telling to you. Let us know how to label the molecular orbitals. We know to distinguish the molecular orbitals on the basis of internuclear axis, bonding axis, sigma and pi notations. By the way, antibonding orbitals we represent by asterisk. Now, whatever the orbital may be, bonding or antibonding, in increasing order of the energies, we should give increasing numbers. But for sigma kind of the categories, one set of increasing numbers. For pi kind of categories, other kind of the increasing number will be there. Let that orbital be bonding, antibonding or non-bonding. As an example, in front of you, HF, hydrogen fluoride formation example is there. In this, actually hydrogen has 1s orbital, which is at high level. It is involved in the molecular orbital formation. But 1s orbital of fluorine is not shown here, but is there. What is the symmetry of that s orbital? Sigma. So that orbital is 1 sigma, but not represented here, but it's considered. Afterwards, next highest orbital in that molecule is 2s. It is represented there. By which symbol? 2 sigma. Then bonding orbital form due to interaction between 1s orbital of hydrogen and one of the p orbital of the fluorine. That is a sigma kind of orbital. So it's a 3 sigma. Then antibonding orbital is there, resulted due to the interaction between 1s orbital of hydrogen and one of the p orbital of the fluorine. That is represented as 4 sigma star, 4 sigma asterisk. Are you getting how continuity is there in the counting the sigma orbitals? Let it be the bonding or anti-bonding. By the way, two orbitals are left. Both have the same energy. Both are the part of one set. And those are non-bonding orbitals. If I consider X as a bonding axis, then those will be the Py and Pz orbitals. Now symmetry for Py and Pz we discuss. What is that? Pi. But phi category of the orbitals, first time we are getting. So their representation is 1 pi. 1 pi is a set. It represents both Py orbital as well as Pz orbital. Are you getting this point? We will follow this nomenclature, Mulliken's nomenclature, in our examples while understanding various heteronuclear and polyatomic systems. Concept will be more clear if we study further examples. Are the types of molecular orbitals, formation of molecular orbital, decrease, increase, attraction, subtraction clear to you? Whatever this molecular orbital formation is there is based on one principle called as LCAO principle, linear combination of atomic orbitals. The name itself says linear combination means addition or subtraction. Two waves can be added or can be subtracted. Addition means bonding, subtraction means anti-bonding. Addition means decrease in energy, subtraction means increase in energy. Are you getting this point? LCAO means what? It is just the mode of combination. Now question you will be with positive phase, negative phase means what exactly it is. See, it is just a wave 0 to 360 degree. The crust portion, phase difference 0 to 180 degree, positive, sign function is positive there. Phase difference 180 degree to 360 degree, it is negative, sign function is negative in that third and fourth quadrant. So it is a positive phase and this is what? Negative phase. Then how two possible combinations? That I am saying. Here possibilities of the combination, probability of the combination that we consider. If I toss a coin, then how much probability will be there? I'll get head 50%. So both possibilities are there. Likewise, if I consider wave, how much probability will be there? It will be the positive phase, that's for interaction, 50% positive phase. Likewise, other wave, 50% positive. So 50% chances are that positive can come together. Or both can be like. I explained to you now. Two coins if I consider. And if I toss the two coins, how many possibilities are there? 4 possibilities are there. I can get head and head, or tail and tail means like possibilities, or head and other is tail, or tail and other is head, unlike possibilities. Out of those 4, 2 are like possibilities and 2 are unlike possibilities. 50% like possibilities, 50% unlike possibilities. Likewise, if I consider two waves, then 50% chances are there positive, negative will combine. That is called addition. And 50% chances are there positive, positive will combine. That is called subtraction. So here possibilities of combination we are considering. Don't keep in mind that only one wave we are considering, only one atom we are considering, and among them interaction. Here possibilities of the many waves and among them interaction is considered. So it is not the one atom or one electron phenomenon. It is the giant phenomenon. It is a combined phenomenon. It is a universal approach phenomenon. It is a possibility phenomenon. It is a random phenomenon. Therefore, we consider positive and positive, or negative and negative, or positive and negative, or negative and positive. These all are the possibilities of the combination. Possibilities of the combination. So here complete wave function concept will be there. So wave function, how we represent? By psi for atom, for bonding, anti-bonding, the representations what are there? You will come to know very soon. For bonding, we will represent by psi b. For antibonding, we will represent it by psi a. B and A will be the small one. Now let me talk about SALC, SALC, Symmetry Adapted Linear Combination concept. Whatever the orbitals from one atom we are considering, then how will they combine other? If two are there, then there is only possibility that wave functions of two different atoms are combined. But suppose atoms are three, for example H2O, BH2 or CO2, then central atom will be our one entity. And remaining atoms at periphery of center, atoms surrounding the center will form group, will form team, and the group orbitals of that group will interact with the orbitals of central atom. So group orbital will be the new concept. And among those all possible group orbitals, the orbitals which have suitable symmetry, orbitals which have proper symmetry. Of course, energy and other aspects are there. Energy should be similar, overlap should be there appreciable. Those things are supposed to be followed. The orbitals of same symmetry will interact to result molecular orbitals. Concept will be more clear when we will discuss the example BH2 or H3, H3 plus, H2O. In that, finding central atom is important thing and it is easy. Remaining atoms will be the peripheral atoms, remaining atoms will be the group atoms, and among them, combination of them will form group orbitals, and those group orbitals will interact with central atom orbitals. Is it clear? Now let us apply our symmetry knowledge to understand molecular orbital theory. We will discuss it in detail, but in short I am telling to you, if we consider water as a molecule, for water molecule, 4 symmetry operations are possible. First, identity. Second, C2. Let us consider Z axis, C2Z. Third, sigma, molecular plane. And fourth, sigma dash, a plane perpendicular to the molecule. Now, whatever these operations are there, we need to operate atomic orbitals with these operations. And where there is a similarity, those can combine. Means, if I consider say S orbital, identity will not make change in the phase of S. If I want C2 operation, no change. Sigma operation, no change. Sigma dash, no change. If I consider Z orbital, C2 operation, no change. Sigma operation, change in the phases I am seeing. Positive phase upside will remain positive upside only by C2 operation, by sigma operation, by sigma dash operation. Means S orbital and PZ orbital have same symmetry. But if I consider X orbital, positive lobe is towards your left side and negative lobe is towards your right side, consider. Perform C2 operation, positive will come on negative. Are you following? Perform sigma operation, means molecular plane, positive will remain to positive. So there is no change. Perform sigma dash operation, positive and negative will change the position by reflection. So these operations we need to perform on various orbitals, and we have to label those orbitals. So when time will come, when we will discuss the molecule in detail, especially for water molecule, we will be in need of that. At that time, we will discuss it in detail. But just hint I had given to you. One more concept I tell to you, Girard and unGirard. Girardness means centrosymmetricity. Ungiradness means non-centrosymmetricity, of course. Means that orbital shape, maybe the molecular orbital shape, means if you take any point, say in the positive phase, draw a line up to center and extend the line to same extent. If you started from positive phase and you are ending in the positive phase, then there is a center of inversion. There is a centrosymmetricity. There is a Girardness. But if start from positive phase and you're ending in negative phase, then ungeradness. So it is represented by U, ungeradness. One more thing, number of molecular orbitals is equal to number of orbitals combining. Let those be atomic orbitals or group orbitals. Whichever orbitals do combine, those many molecular orbitals will be there. Means if two atomic orbitals and one group orbital do combine, then total molecular orbitals will be 3. Now homework for you. Let us consider code 1 means symmetric for no change in phase after operation, and code -1 for antisymmetric means there is a change in phase after operation. Now C2 point group, you know possible operations are E, C2, sigma, sigma dash. Consider C2 as a z-axis and perform operations on s orbital, operations on px orbital, py orbital, pz orbital. For example, if I perform operation on py orbital, then because of identity, no change. Below identity, I will write 1. After C2, there will be change, so I'll write -1. After sigma operation, sigma means molecular plane, there is a change, so -1. After sigma dash operation, no change, so I'll write 1. So in front of py orbital, I'll write a set of code numbers 1, -1, -1, 1. Likewise, for all orbitals, you have to represent in a tabular form. Is it clear? Let's compare homonuclear and heteronuclear diatomic molecules with respect to molecular orbitals in next part.